old version that's not done or anywhere near done, but when you're getting close to finish, check a couple things before you turn this in. Go to Photoshop, go to Preferences, go to Units and Rulers. And if you did yours in Illustrator, you can do the same thing. Make sure Units is inches. Type should be point, but Units should be inches. So now my document's set up in inches, but you can't tell unless I hit Command R, which is also, I think, View Rulers right there, Command R. So the reason I want the rulers is anytime you're doing a printed project, which this is, a CMYK, if you look, I'm sliding from the ruler over so that right here is 1/2 inch. I'm going to go about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to create a 1/4 inch border all the way around. So let me just drag again over here. Here's 9 inches, so there's my 1/4 inch. I can see my ruler up there and drag down for here's 12. I'm looking on the left side. So now I have a 1/4 inch all the way around. So if you have text that is touching the edge, or maybe your masthead is here, you need to make sure that it fits within those limits. Also, I know I've mentioned this multiple times. If your headline is on the left side, align left. If your headline is on the right side, align right. So one way to do that is if I highlight my text, Command T will give me a character, click on paragraph. I can click align right, and now I can click and drag this. Now, the last thing is make sure when I talk about kerning, I'm going to do it on this one. So kerning, if I hold the Option key down and arrow to the left or right, that's way too tight. So that, depending on what you're doing, would be way too open for a headline. So play with that. Make sure it looks good. Remember, we did the kerning game. Now, leading is when you have two lines that are really, it's the line spacing. So again, I'm holding the Option key and I'm using the arrow up and down. Make sure it's comfortable. You don't want it to look too far apart. This would be too tight because it's hard to read. That looks about right. And depending on the font will determine how close or how far. Now the last thing is both of these headlines are hard to read. The black one's harder to read, so I'm going to go ahead and change the color of this black one to white because I couldn't decide what color. So while it's highlighted with the text tool, I can click on color here and just click over here. That's another way to do it. Okay, so now it's still hard to read. So I know I showed you the one trick. Let me just review this for you. Is to, in my layers palette, create a new layer. I'm going to call this my gradient layer so there's no confusion. I'm going to pull this under the text over the image, and over here is my gradient tool. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click from the top to the bottom. Oh, and that, the reason this is red to white, I want to click on this little black and white box over here to toggle that. Now I want to go black to white, and actually in this case I want my black to be at the bottom. So what this is, if you look over here, it's just a layer that fills a white to black gradient. Now if I click on normal up here in my layers and click on multiply, it gives me this screen effect, and I can play now with opacity. Maybe it's not so dark. Play around with that. I can also play with, do I want it to be really dark here? Oh, other way, sorry. That way. Just keep playing with it. Maybe it needs to be darker, a little bit more up. You can see that line. I don't want that line. Anyway, play with it. Another option, if I hide this, is to select your text. Oops. Go to my text. Which one is that? Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm going to highlight my text. That's my text right there. Down here, while I'm selected in the type layer, I can click on this FX and scroll down to drop shadow. And I'm going to move this so you can see. You can see right now these numbers are pretty big, so you can see the drop shadow. I can even move where that shadow goes. That's kind of fun. The size, let me zoom out so it's not so big and fuzzy. And now the distances, I'm going to bring it a little bit closer. I don't want this to be so dark though, so I'm going to change the opacity. I don't want it to look like it has a drop shadow. I just want it to be darker enough so that my text is easier to read on this. The last thing, I'm going to say okay there. So I would play with that. Also, my masthead right now is not very good. Look at my layout. Okay, so I still missing my barcode. I'm still missing some things. But my image, this is my focal point. I want this to be more interesting. So Command T is the key command to transform, or if I go here, go under Edit, Free Transform, that just allows me to make it bigger, and maybe I want to rotate it. I'll show you how to rotate. So, for a magazine cover, you want to be like really big on the cover. And I'm zooming out so that you can see when I put my cursor to the top left, I get that double arrow. I can rotate it. Maybe that's fun and a little bit more interesting. And double click it so it applies that change. I kind of dig that. Again, this isn't done. I still have some retouching stuff to do, but I just wanted to review that. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. That's it.